everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. For today's video, I am just going to be talking about my experiences with having COVID and the two different treatments I have had, and just do a little comparison between them and let you guys know my experience in case any of you are going through it as well. As a little disclaimer, I am not a doctor and this is not medical advice. This is simply my own experience, and if you guys have any questions about my COVID experience, let me know in the comments down below. And before anyone asks or comments, I am vaccinated, I am boosted, I am very cautious when I go out, and I still managed to pick COVID up. And without further ado, let's get started. So just a little background information. I had COVID for the first time back in the spring of 2022, and when I had it, I was treated with the antiviral Paxlovid, and then the next round of COVID I had was in the fall of 2023, and that time I was treated with a different antiviral called Molnupiravir, which is also known as Lagevrio, and they were two totally different experiences between having the COVID and the treatment and how long it lasted. And I figured it may help some of you guys to come on here and just go through and do a little bit of a comparison and talk about how I felt and the differences I noticed. I do have an entire video all about my first time having COVID and my Paxlovid experience. I will leave that down below and you guys can definitely go watch that. This video is mainly going to focus on the comparison between the two medications as well as my experience with the Molnupiravir. And in terms of resources, I highly recommend checking out the CDC website. That is probably the best resource out there for you guys. And another one that I really like that has a really great detailed article as well as a chart is on GoodRx. And now I'm just going to compare the two medications. Right here is the Paxlovid and right here is the Molnupiravir, and they are both very similar in that they are both antiviral medications that are used to treat mild to moderate COVID, primarily in patients who have coexisting conditions that could be worsened by COVID. The reason I was prescribed the antivirals when I was sick is because I am chronically ill and I have a bunch of different issues, but the main one is because I have pretty severe asthma and have ever since I was a baby. And so in order for me to not end up in the hospital on a ventilator, the doctors have decided that the best course of treatment for me is to take the antivirals, as well as I usually have to up my nebulizer. Another similarity between the two medications is that they are both taken by mouth for 5 days and must be started within 5 days of your symptom onset. The only difference is that with the Molnupiravir, you are taking 4 pills, whereas with the Paxlovid, you are only taking 3, and you do take it morning and night. Something I did prefer about the Paxlovid in comparison to the Molnupiravir is that they do come in these handy dandy blister packs that are labeled day and night, and so it was really easy to set these out and have it as a reminder to always take it, as opposed to the Molnupiravir, which just comes in the manufacturer's bottle. Now let's talk primarily about Paxlovid. Like I said, I do have a really detailed video on my entire Paxlovid experience that I will leave down below for you guys. But for those of you who don't know, Paxlovid is an FDA-approved antiviral manufactured by Pfizer, and it is a combination of 2 different medications. The 2 medications that this is made up of are Molnupiravir and ritonavir. Paxlovid is approved for patients who are 12 years and older and must be at least 88 pounds. The most common side effects that are associated with taking Paxlovid are changes in taste, one of the main ones being something called Paxlovid mouth. And let me tell you, this was the worst part about taking this medication. It doesn't happen in everyone, but most people get this really awful taste. It's almost similar to if you were to drink a bunch of grapefruit juice and then brush your teeth, or a bunch of metal in your mouth. It is an awful taste, and it doesn't go away until you're done taking the medication, but it does beat getting super sick because the medication does work. Other common side effects include diarrhea, high blood pressure, as well as muscle aches. One of the downsides to Paxlovid, however, though, is the fact that it does interact with a bunch of different medications. The first time I had COVID in 2022, when I was prescribed the Paxlovid, I was only on 2 medications that it interacted with, and that was my steroid cream for my eczema, which I just had to go off of for a few days while taking the medication. And another thing is that it does interact with my ADHD meds and makes it stronger, which I didn't notice a difference with because I honestly wasn't taking my ADHD medication when I had COVID because I was so sick. And there's literally a long list of other things that it interacts with. And because of the drug interactions, your doctor may prescribe you a different antiviral called Molnupiravir. Molnupiravir has not been approved by the FDA yet, and it is manufactured by Merck, and it can be used in patients who are 18 years old and older. The most common side effects associated with the Molnupiravir are nausea, dizziness, and diarrhea. The only side effect that I had from taking this was slight dizziness, which I actually experience regularly, so it may not have even been the medication. As I'm sitting here editing this, I also wanted to add that it is super important that you ensure that you are not pregnant and that you are not going to become pregnant when taking this medication. It was highly stressed to me that for the 5-day course that you're taking it, as well as I think it was like 4 or 5 days after, that you need to be super careful. And I read somewhere that doctors usually only prescribe the Molnupiravir if other treatment options are not appropriate. So for instance, because my medications have changed since the last time I had COVID, I was not able to take the Paxlovid again, which is why I did have to be prescribed the Molnupiravir. And now I'm just going to talk solely about my experience taking the Molnupiravir. And the first big thing for me is that I really enjoyed that you don't get the Paxlovid mouth taste when taking this. My family members were all prescribed Paxlovid. I was prescribed the Molnupiravir. They all experienced the awful taste, and I was over here absolutely fine. My taste buds intact. However, when taking the Molnupiravir, I do feel like I was sicker for longer, and it definitely took me longer to test negative. I'm not sure if it was because of the different strain I got or if it was due to the medication, but in comparison to when I took the Paxlovid, I tested negative soon after taking it, and I felt much better on around day 3 of taking the Paxlovid, and I still felt pretty crummy by the time I finished the 5-day course of the Molnupiravir, and I was definitely positive way longer. But overall, my experience with both of these medications was pretty good, and it did what it was supposed to, which was keep me out of the hospital, and it kept me from having really bad asthma attacks, which is nice. So that is just my experience taking 2 different antivirals to treat COVID. They are very similar medications, however, they are also very specialized to individuals, and your doctor will know which one is right for you. Like I said earlier, if you guys have any questions about my COVID experiences, definitely let me know in the comments down below. While you guys are down there, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I upload new content regularly and would love it if you'd become part of our little family. Also, be sure to hit the bell so that you are in fact notified every time I do upload a new video. I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!